Hi, this is Ms. Fazone, and this is Algebra 2, negative exponents, simplifying expressions. All right, so let's talk about negative exponents for a second. Let's talk about exponents. So if you have 2 to the third, what's that? That's 2 times 2 times 2, which is 8. What's 2 squared? 4. What's 2 to the first? 2. Now let's look at what's happening for these three. How do you get from 8 to 4? You divide by 2, right? To get from 4 to 2, you divide by 2. So what's 2 to the 0 going to be then? 2 to the 0 is 1 because 2 divided by 2 is 1. How about 2 to the first? Again, divide by 2. What's 1 divided by 2 is a half. And then divide by 2 again. That's a quarter. Okay. Now, notice 4 is 2 squared, right? So we could actually also think of this as 1 over 2 squared. This is 1 over 2 to the first. So notice this. A negative exponent, really what it's doing is moving something into the denominator. 2 to the negative 1 is 1 over 2 to the first. 2 to the negative 2 is 1 over 2 squared. So a negative exponent actually means it's a fraction. Okay? All right, so let's use that to rewrite. So if we have 7 to the negative 2, whenever you see a negative exponent, the first thing you do is make it 1 over. Think of it as cross the line, change the sign. All right? I cross the division sign, the exponent changes sign. Right? Cross the line, change the sign. And then what's a 1 over 7 squared? That's 1 over 49. Okay. Next one, same idea. 1 over, what do? 3, change the sign to the fourth. 3 to the fourth, that's 9 times 9, which is 81. Okay. Next one. 1 over again. 2 to the fifth. We talked about 2 to the fifth the other day. Remember what it was? 32. And then the last one. 1 over x to the 11th. All right? All right, so let's look at these now. What is x to the 7 over 4? We're just going to look at this in another way. What do you get? X to the third. Why? Why is it x to the third? We talked about this when we learned this in September. There are 7 x's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And a bunch of them end up canceling out. Let me get a colored pen. All right, so these cancel out, cancel out, cancel out, cancel out. You're left with how many? 3 x to the third. And notice those 3 are on top. Notice those 3 are on top. That's why it's x cubed. Okay? Now, if we do it like this, though, what do you get when you do 4 minus 7? 4 minus 7 is negative 3. Same idea. There's 4 on top. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Right? So now the 4 that cancel out, now what's left on top? Nothing. But when you're multiplying, what's a nothing? It's a really 1 over. Those 3 left over are actually in the denominator. X to the third. So this is another way of understanding negative exponents, right? There's more on top than on the bottom, so all the leftovers on top. There's more left on the bottom, so everything's in the bottom. But 4 minus 7 is 3, so it's negative, right? So x to the negative 3 equals 1 over x to the third. Okay? Keep that in mind. All right, now we're going to simplify. So these are a little more complicated. Now, a times b to the minus 5. Right? So make my fraction. Now, the b has the negative 5, so it goes to the bottom. Does a have a negative exponent though? No, so it's not going to go, and it's going to stay up top. If it has a positive exponent, it stays in the numerator. Only move it if it's got a negative exponent. This one. Which one's negative? That one flips to the bottom, and remember to change the sign. Cross the line, change the sign. Y squared is not negative, it stays up top. Okay. How about this one? The A is positive, so should it move? No, it's happy. Where does the B go? It crosses the line, and when it crosses the line, it becomes positive, so it's really just AB. Last one. If it's negative, it crosses the line. This is negative, it crosses the line and changes sign. Y is also negative, that has to cross the line and change the sign. Y to the third, and you're done. Okay. Number 5. Okay, so this is taking what we learned in September and putting it with this. So first things first, multiply. 3 times 4 is 12. What do you do to exponents when you multiply? You add them, right? So we have our negative 2 and 5. What's negative 2 plus 5? 3. So do we have to rewrite this? No, we're done. We're happy. No problems. Throwing my pen around. Only have to change it if it's negative. If it's not negative, you're good. All right, this one. Negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. We have x. All right, what do we get for the x's? We have x to the negative 4 and just plain x. What's the exponent for a plain x? It's 1. So we have negative 4 plus 1 is negative 3. Y, again, a 1 and negative 3. That's negative 2.